copies दे दूंगा मैं. I'll just slowly read it out. And these were rejected.
What year is this?
This is, my lord, 1973. These are dated 15th of March 1973, sir. So the first amendment which was proposed, was he is conversant with the affairs of the country, which is okay. He is conversant with the affairs of the country and is not reputed for his bad character or for contravening the injunctions of Islam. This was rejected by the House. Second, if a Muslim, he is honest, and not an open violator of the dogmas of Islam and possesses the necessary knowledge of his religion. Both were rejected. And while rejecting it, the Speaker said, and I would just quickly read out one paragraph from the proponent of one of these amendments and then the response given by the Speaker.
Who proposed these?
My lord, these were proposed by Maulana Abdul Haq of Koda Khatak, Maulana Ghulam Ghaus Hazarvi and Maulana Mustafa Al-Azhari. So these were the three members who proposed them and the House rejected them. I just read out, these are very telling passages, what he had in mind and then how the Speaker responded. And this is exactly what Justice Khosa has observed. जनाबे वाला, मैंने तरमीम पेश की है कि पार्लियामेंट का जो रुकन हो, उसका किरदार, उसका इखलाक, उसका तकवा, उसकी दयानतदारी, इसका मामला शनास होना, इस्लाम के बारे में उसकी बुरी शोहरत ना हो, ये खसूसियात भी लगाई जाएं. असल में इस दफ़ा में ज़ेली तौर से बहुत सी चीज़ें लगाई हैं कि अरकान में इनका होना ज़रूरी है. एहलियत होगी तो मैं अर्ज़ करूं कि ये जो है, यानी जो पार्लियामेंट है, पार्लियामेंट जो है वो तमाम मुल्क में बहुत ही अहम इदारा है. इस ऐवान के अरकान हैं, ये आइन बनाने वाले हैं, कानून बनाने वाले और मुल्क के अंदर अदल व इंसाफ कायम करने वाले इदारे के अरकान हैं. इसका जवाब सर, Speaker responded, and then obviously it was then later put to vote. He said, आप मुझे इसका जवाब दें कि आपने फतवा दे दिया कि इसकी शोहरत अच्छी है और वो अहल है. दूसरे कई उलमाए कराम ये फतवा देते हैं कि इसकी शोहरत अच्छी नहीं है, इसलिए ये चीज़ इसके मुंतखब करने वाले जो लोग हैं, जो वोटर हैं, उन पर छोड़ी जाती है. अगर वो समझें कि वो अहल है तो वो अहल हो सकता है. And then ultimately it was put to vote and it was rejected. So
maybe it's a guideline for the voter.
Yes.
Maybe why can't it be considered a guideline for the voter? Maybe you want, it's maybe not on your radar, but you should consider these points.
Some sort of inspirational standards for future.
D, E, G and precisely are that. Now what happened here? Mr. Uzair Bindari argued and he relied on paragraph 33 of Samiullah, where Samiullah Baloch, with respect, erroneously relies on Imtiaz Lali case of 2007 to say that pre-18th Amendment, the Supreme Court had disqualified someone for life under 62(1)(f, erroneously. Paragraph 33 refers to Imtiaz Lali, which is PLD 2007, Supreme Court 369, which was incorrect. In Imtiaz Lali case, he was disqualified on the basis of a provision which was introduced in Representations of the People's Act through Conduct of General Elections Order, which was Chief Executive's Order number 7 of 2002, on the basis that a person who was dismissed from service on the basis of misconduct or moral turpitude, full stop. They applied this provision to hold that if he could not get back into service, he could not get back into the parliament either under 63. So this is what Imtiaz Lali did. Now what did parliament do to respond? In 2010, parliament then placed timelines for G, H, I, J. Now J deals with removal from service on the basis of misconduct. They said that if he's removed on the basis of misconduct, he could come back in after 3 years. And on moral turpitude, if he's convicted and after serving the term, he can come back after 5 years. So Parliament had this judgment in mind and responded to it. What Parliament did not have in mind was that while they were creating actually a safety valve under 62(1)(f, against any arbitrary decision by a returning officer, where the returning officer would ask someone XYZ, or somebody would come make an allegation against somebody that he is dishonest or he owed me something and he has cheated me, etc. Parliament pegged it with a declaration by court of law. And that declaration, now as I go in greater detail what that declaration would be, This is the safety valve which the parliament had created, and unfortunately, from Ghafoor Lady to first Aladino Bhaio, the original Aladino Bhaio, to Samiullah Baloch, this court then actually turned into something which constitution makers never contemplated. Nowhere in 62 or 63 has anything been made perpetual disqualification.
But before we even get to the time frame, what I'm understanding from you is that we haven't yet crossed the first hurdle as to what kind of a declaration this is. Because under the current dispensation or legal framework, no such declaration can come about. Samiullah goes ahead and crafts a declaration, says that in case there is some civil litigation which comes up with something, then we'll, as a consequence and as an effect, connect it and make him dishonest or a mean. So there is no direct mechanism or procedure available in the current legal framework to achieve such a declaration. So having said that, one option could be that the parliament goes ahead and decides the procedure, or there is a constitutional amendment, whatever might be the case. How could a court of law like us resolve this issue? Because under the current legal framework, such a declaration cannot be given. So what happens if there's a constitutional provision which becomes practically unworkable under the legal system? What do we do with that provision?
My Lord, my respectful submission is, and I attend to my Lord's question, but if I may just first submit, that such declaration, now if we look at the courts of civil jurisdiction and see its declaration is given by a civil court, this sort of becomes a bit inconceivable, because in what situation would that declaration come out? No. But if this declaration in the form of a conviction is given by a criminal court, then there are several instances where such convictions regarding the character, which is the honesty or dishonesty of a person, could be given by criminal courts and the penal code. As I just gave an example of section 403 of penal code, a person who dishonestly misappropriates somebody's property, upon conviction he is punished. Punishment is up to 2 years. 63(1)H is threshold doesn't get triggered because that is more than 2 years. So remaining under 3 years, under 2 years, there is a declaration of him having dishonestly misappropriating property.
It's not a civil declaration that's the problem. Right?
Civil declaration is a problem. Now, similarly, cheating, for example, is being deceitful, which is dishonesty.
Sure.
So again, it's 1 year. So वहाँ पे शायद आ सकता है criminal procedure, but civil declaration, as my Lord has just observed, I can't think of anything.
So then, what is the answer?
Now, my Lord,
is the first question that since Ishaq Khaqani is pending, right?
Ji.
So unless we cross this hurdle, building a time frame and all that is a secondary question.
So that is one. That is one. That it is all.
So it is best either you leave it to the parliament to do a constitutional amendment or do whatever they want to come up with.
For that, you don't need a constitutional amendment. Now, this is my second submission.
नहीं, मुझे एक चीज बताएं, ये हम फंस गए समीउल्लाह बलोच में। अगर जब ये खाकवानी का आपने जिक्र किया, मैंने अभी पूरा जजमेंट देख रहा हूँ समीउल्लाह बलोच का। ये कोई बहुत पुराना जजमेंट तो नहीं है, नेचुरली रेडार पे होगा, दुनिया भर के वकील इसमें पेश हुए, किसी एक ने जिक्र नहीं किया खाकवानी का। I find that very difficult। और उसमें जो सवाल उठाए गए थे, तो मतलब उसको नज़रअंदाज कर दें, हम दूसरी तरफ चलते हैं, मतलब मुझे कुछ गैर मुनासिब लग रहा है।
These questions had to be addressed।
एड्रेस नहीं, कोई पुराना कोई नहीं, कोई 10 रिपोर्टेड जजमेंट है, PLD में लिखा हुआ है उसको, तो वो पूरे जजमेंट में उसका तस्करा ही नहीं, और हम फंसे हुए समीउल्लाह बलोच में। हम खाकवानी पे क्यों ना जाएं?
बिल्कुल जाना पड़ेगा, और जाना पड़ेगा, जरूरी है।
नहीं मगर नहीं, आप देखिए, जो चीज हमें नहीं समझ आती है, अब सपोज एक मैं नया टर्म इस्तेमाल कर देता हूँ, मैं कल को आइन बदल देता हूँ, उसमें लिख देता हूँ पार्लियामेंटेरियंस मस्ट बी इंटेलिजेंट। ठीक है, फेयर इनफ।